Hi everyone, my name is Michael Barletta, co-founder of AguaceroWx, and today what we're going to be doing is just a basic overview of the Aguacero application. So to start off, I have different tutorials going through some of the more complicated parts of the application that can be found on our YouTube or on our homepage, but this is just going to be a basic overview of how to get started and how to use the application. When you load it in for the first time, there's going to be a little bit of a walkthrough tutorial that you should definitely do if you are confused about how to use the application at all. But if you go to help and click tutorial, that will come back up if you need to re-reference it at any point. So what is Aguacero? We are just a way to visualize weather data interactively. Really no limits on how any individual user can use the application. Everybody's going to use it a little bit differently. You can visualize multiple models, multiple panels and maps at one time, have multiple tabs, visualize different data sets on top of each other like MRMS, mesoscale analysis, and models. It's all totally up to the user of what they want to visualize and how they want to visualize it. It's customizable down to the color maps and the ranges of the data that you're looking at. Everything pretty much is fully customizable. So we'll go through each part of the app just really quickly. Again, a basic overview. So what we see when we initially load in, there are a couple of things that I want to point out. First, we have the GFS overall, just the GFS reflectivity types with sea level pressure in the contours. And that is it when we initially load in. And one map. What we could see on the left-hand side here are all of the different layers that are currently loaded into the map. So we see rain, ice pellets, freezing rain, snow, and sea level pressure. Although in summer or early fall now, we're only seeing rain for the GFS. We can also select our model and our run. So currently we'll just stick with the GFS. And that's, just the basics of what's on the map when you first load it in. If we want to change what we're currently visualizing, we have a few ways to do that. The most basic way is just to come up here and we'll see what we're currently looking at is default bundles. What is a bundle? A bundle is just a collection of these layers like you would have on any other weather website that's visualizing weather data. So the current bundle that we're looking at is precipitation type reflectivity, and that is just a collection of all of these different layers. So what we could do is change what we're looking at by just clicking on one of these default bundles. So let's go to severe instability and let's just click surface-based CAPE. And we'll see what has happened now is that the data has been replaced. And we will see in a second surface-based CAPE pop up, and here we go. And on the left, we now have gotten rid of all of those layers, and we now just see surface-based CAPE. So we could do that with any of these variables, whether it's upper air, precipitation, any of them. We give all of our users default bundles to just get started with the application or quickly visualize things. We could see there are other things in here as well, such as satellite. So if we want to switch to visible satellite, we could do that as well. And we'll get some frames of satellite to load in here, or visible satellite to load in here. We also have MRMS data, mesoscale analysis data, as well as NOAA data. All of this in the future is going to be greatly expanded. All of the NOAA data, more radar data. We want to have level 2. Pretty much any weather data set that you could think of will be available in this application eventually. And what we could do is just turn on if we want to see the day 1 categorical outlook, and we now see the day 1 categorical outlook if we just delete the satellite view. So that's kind of how to load in different data into the application just natively. So those are the default bundles. Now, what if you want to customize what you're looking at? Let's switch the model to the HER, and we still have this day 1 categorical outlook, but let's add a layer. So when you add a layer, you're going to be presented with a few options: model data, which we see all of this different model data, satellite, MRMS, RTMA, or that NOAA menu that we pulled up before. For now, let's just add composite reflectivity on top of the categorical outlook. And we see composite reflectivity for the HER is now available and that's what we're visualizing. So if we move forward in time, we could see there are some supercells or some severe weather that develops in this area that the SPC is showing a slight risk for that they're showing a slight risk for severe weather today. So that's one way that we could customize what's on the map by looking at or just adding these different layers. And again, we could add, if we wanted to, any of these different layers on the map. That we want to. But for now, we'll just stick with the her and the categorical outlook. Again, we're able to edit the layers beyond just what we're seeing. We could edit the layers, down to the color map or down to the ranges. So the first thing that we could do is change. We have fill, line, or point. We'll keep it at fill, but if we wanted to, we could add point data, and let's disable fill, and we could see that the reflectivity data is now showing in data points instead of a fill, but we'll keep point on there. If we want to edit things such as the color map, we could come here, click edit layer, and we're met with all of these different customizations. We could change individual colors by just clicking one of these color blocks. So let's say we want to make 20 dBz orange instead, and we could see that has now updated the color map. If we want to change a whole color map, we could click load color map, and we're able to see different color map variants that other users have created. So if we click this one, now we see a new color map that a user has created. We could also save our own color maps by clicking save after we customize it. We could also customize the data range. So let's say we only want to see over 30 dBz. We're able to do that as well, or over 35 or 40 dBz. We're able to customize that as well. A couple other things, the opacity, as well as the smoothing. If you want to see the raw data instead, those are available to customize. And like I said, there are other data types that you could look at. If we want to see point data, we have the same customization options available to us. So let's go back to bundle editing. Now, if we want to save this customization, we're able to do that as well. If we click Save Bundle and change what, just change any of these properties, we could save the bundle and it will become available in this My Bundles section. If we change the source from default bundles to My Bundles, we will then be able to see all of the bundles that you individually save, again, by clicking Save Bundle. So all of your customizations can fully be saved in the application and reused for later. Below where we load in individual bundles, we see this toolbar. So there are a bunch of different things that we could do. The first one is we could close or open this side menu to give us more room. There is an option to create your own forecast or product in the app. Again, I have a more in-depth tutorial on exactly how to do that, but that is an option in the application. You could change from dark to light mode. You could change your default units from imperial to metric. You could see that we have mouse readouts on when we hover over a certain area. We could disable those by clicking off. We could add custom markers, so we could add custom name markers. I have a custom name marker at Citi Field because I'm a big Mets fan, and we could see that our custom name marker is there at Citi Field. Then the next thing that we could get into is workflows. We don't just have to visualize one map. We could visualize multiple maps at one time. There are a couple different ways that we could do that. The easiest is going to be just selecting one of these default views. So we could click this, and now we will see our views will be in two different panels. We could also edit individual panels if we want to by just dragging these panels around and then clicking Add New Panel. But for now, we will just stick with these two. And what these buttons do up here are sync the models between them or the map. So we could see as we move one map around, the other map moves as well. We could turn that off, and now as this map moves around, this one will not move around. But let's get sync maps back on. And we could sync the models to the active panel. So if we click sync models, and then we now see that instead of the GFS, which was showing before, this is now showing the her model. And if we want to add some data onto this map, we can either click edit bundle or start from scratch, but we'll close that for now, or we can just select a bundle from up here from my bundles or default bundles, etc. For you to visualize. So let's just add surface base cape, and we will see in a second surface base cape will pop up for the her, and now we can visualize multiple panels at the same time for either the same model or different models. If we wanted to change this panel to the GFS, we could just come down here and select GFS, and now, well, we have sync models on, so it's going to sync them up between both models. But if we turn sync models off, and then let's change this back to the her model, we will see that this model will change to the her. This one will stick on the GFS. That's the basics. We're also able to save these like layouts. We call them workflows. We could do that across multiple boards as well. So basically a tab, if you click add new board, you could click that and basically get another one of these that you could tab through. If we want to save this kind of layout, all we have to do is click save workflow, and it works the same way as bundles. If we want to see our workflows, we switch this from bundles to workflows, and we could change our source to our own workflows, and we can load them in. So if I just go here and click this, this was a workflow I made for a different video. Again, I have tutorials for all of these things, much more in depth on the website or on our website or on our homepage, excuse me, and we could see on this right-hand panel, we have RTMA 2-meter temperature, and on this left-hand panel, we have GFS composite reflectivity and sea level pressure. And we could move through time for both of those as well. So that is just the basics on how to use the application. Again, more in-depth tutorials for all of these things on the website or on our YouTube. Thank you very much for watching.